So both Rupa and Gherkin have shown you the solution and explained why project operations is the clear choice for your business. I'd like to try and explain why Velosio is the right partner to help you and your company see the rapid business value from implementing project operations. As I'm sure you would all agree, even the most comprehensive solutions require business expertise to implement. Well, Velosio brings that expertise. We have more than 30 years of Microsoft consulting expertise in project-based firms. We have over 400 team members with experience in Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, Azure, and of course, project operations. Velosio has solutions that are built specifically to increase the return on investment our customers see from implementing project operations. And with that, I'd like to get James to tell you about our AXIO for professional services that helps our customers realize that accelerated ROI. James?
Thank you, Robbie. You know, I love talking about AXIO. And what is AXIO? So born from decades of successful delivery of technology projects and developed by our most experienced consultants and IT resources, AXIO addresses very specific aspects of an implementation that our clients have deemed as critical success factors to their projects. For example, best practices. Too often when we go to professional services firms, what we hear from our clients is, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Since you guys do so much of work in the professional services space and that you're specialists in this area, we want to make sure that we follow the best practices that our peers follow. So with that, we decided and embarked on developing over 500 business process models based on best practices. The other aspect of AXIO is the speed at which we can deliver a project without compromising the scope and the anticipated business outcomes. So for example, a pre-configured business solution on day one. We'll talk about that in a second. Data import packages. So there are a number of utilities that we bring to bear and leverage throughout the implementation that increases and accelerates in an efficient manner the overall implementation, which obviously reflects on a compressed timeline and a reduced cost to implement. We also deliver with AXIO certain module enhancements. Many of our customers use a variety of electronic banking capabilities. And so we provide that for major US banks. We have files that are pre-configured to be able to communicate electronically, to manage full paperless electronic bank configurations, exchange of positive pay files, and so on and so forth. Payroll integration. I would say 90+% of our clients outsource their payroll. So it's important to be able to have a solution that integrates payroll provider, at least for GL journal purposes. And then of course, a reduced total cost of ownership. So long-term solution management is very important in a cloud-based environment. So in the next slide, we'll cover some of the long-term and short-term benefits of AXIO. So you can see from the very first item here that AXIO provides value from day one. So what do I mean by that? So a couple of examples. You start with a fully configured test solution based on the best business practices that I spoke about that have been adopted by your peers. And this results in a compression of the analysis and design phase. And there are two very real benefits of this approach. One is that the users get their hands on the solution very early in the process. For those of you that have gone through traditional implementations, you know that initially there's a very long analysis and design phase where you're going through almost like a whiteboard session, laying out the processes, and then Once all that's agreed and documented, you then go ahead and configure the solution. We really shortcut that step by delivering a fully pre-configured solution on day one. What that means is that the users get their hands on the solution very early during the design thinking workshops. Many users aren't used to modern project-based solutions. So what they don't know, they don't know. But when they get oriented with a solution early on in the process, it fosters a great deal of thinking around potential capabilities that they can leverage and take advantage of, which many of them never thought were possible. And so this really helps transition, skeptical users who are anxious about change into champions of the product as they start realizing true values that they can benefit from, how these processes can make their life a lot easier. So user adoption is key in every investment that you make. And these are one of the steps that really enhance that transition and provide a better comfort about the realization of the big investments you make in these technology projects. And then also cloud environments. They require users to keep their solutions on the latest releases. So unlike the solutions, the legacy solutions that were on-prem, where you had complete control over the product, you could choose when to upgrade, when not to upgrade, and sometimes you'd customize the solution so much that you really don't want to upgrade. And so upgrades take time and effort because you have to test a lot. And if you've customized it, there are custom processes that need to be tested. An AXIO subscription includes this solution management aspect. That means all the activities that are needed to perform regular updates, such as regression testing and the maintenance of test scripts, the evaluation of new features, and whether those new features can be potentially adopted and incorporated into the existing processes. So these are just some of the benefits of AXIO. We don't have time in this session to really go through a lot of the other areas, but those are the two benefits that we always hear as feedback from our clients that have gone through a Velosio deployment process as being very instrumental in the success of their technology projects. The next slide. So just to summarize, AXIO has a little bit for everybody in the organization. The business stakeholders, the executive teams that have decided to embark on this project against a defined scope. Everyone has a budget that you have to carefully manage, and we are great stewards of managing that budget. And so when we have a pre-configured system based on best business practices, instead of asking the users, what do you want? We challenge them to let us know why they would deviate from the pre-configured solutions that we are deploying. After all, it is based on their peers' processes. So there's not too many reasons, apart from certain unique situations, why you would deviate from following those core critical processes. Also, the streamlined implementation. This is the user base to be able to take advantage of a very smooth process of orientation into a new product to help them transition into to be real champions of adoption. To simplified solution management, which really addresses some of the concerns the IT departments have. How are we going to manage these solutions? There's a lot of updates to be done. There's a lot of testing to be done. AXIO really addresses those concerns from an IT perspective. And then the overall success of the project for the stakeholders. So we really have developed some amazing IP in AXIO that addresses the entire project team and the overall success of the project.